Hi, my name's Ian. I'm the founder of a platform called Golio. Golio, what it is it's kind of project-based track records. So it's a way for you to manage gig talent. And I don't want to talk too much about that, though. I want to talk about a behavioral hack. So this is something you can do with your team today. It's going to help improve team morale. It's going to help improve execution. And it's pretty easy to do, which is part of the exciting part of it. All right. So the thing you can do is recognition. You can get really good at recognition. You might think, "Oh, okay, I mean, my team already knows I appreciate them." Uh, I've worked with teams that had been together for 15 years. And when we changed how the recognition worked, that team performance went up by 100%, right? So you might think it's pretty good today. Doesn't mean there isn't enormous value in doing it a bit better, right? So am I selling you gift cards? No, gift cards. I mean, you go ahead, use gift cards if you want. I don't really believe you're conflating things. Rather, you're saying thank you, but you're also saying the value of your contribution is $10 at Starbucks. All right, it's not the same thing, right? You want to say I value you, but I don't believe in putting a dollar value on that. Uh, it doesn't sit right. So my recipe for recognition slightly different. It is making recognition individual and specific to the work. All right, it's making it very timely, and it's making it cumulative. So add up over time. So individual. It's kind of the opposite of a participation trophy. When I was a kid at a hockey banquet, everybody on the team got a shout out, right? And that shout out might be hardest slap shot or best defensive hustle. Because it was specific, because only they got that feedback, man, people really appreciated that, right? It made them feel like the coaches saw them, all right? Timely. Now, it's much better to do that in practice than at the end of the year, right? Because at the end of the year, it's too late. And cumulative. Cumulative, what do I mean by that? I mean, that person who's delivered for you 50 times, if you say every time, I know you've delivered for me, I appreciate it, that was time 50. Can you do it again for time 51? They feel, again, this clear recognition that everything they're doing, you see, you value, all right? So let's look at some examples. International Movie Database is an interesting example. Indie filmmakers, so yeah, Tom Cruise is on it, but indie filmmakers are on it too. And they're using it to vouch for each other. They're using it to give each other credit, cumulative credit. So every time somebody directs a little indie film or does some acting, they're getting an additional credit added to their track record, which they really appreciate. Now, could this be better? Well, often this is done after the fact, so it's not always timely, and it's not super differentiated. So here it says that Nick wrote this. It doesn't say he hit the deadline. It doesn't. So every writer is going to say the exact same thing about them. It's going to say they wrote this. That's all it says. But it's not bad. I mean, these people really appreciate this. Here's another interesting example. This one's really fun. The software industry, one of the biggest innovations in the software industry in the past 10 years, possibly the past 30 years, is pen and paper. Yeah, pen and paper. They are taking their deliverables and writing them down on little like recipe cards, little like speech cards. And they're tacking those cards to the wall. And so people put their name on it and maybe a due date, and they attach it to the wall. And that gives people public recognition, at least public on the team, recognition for all the stuff they're getting done. You might have seen them do this in the HBO show Silicon Valley. They use this a lot. So how it works is, you'd have cards that aren't due yet, but here's all our backlog of work. And every time somebody gets something done, you'd move it over to done. right? So it's individual, it's specific, and it's very timely. As soon as you get it done, you move it over. Great, right? And so you get that endorphin rush. Very interesting. And it builds trust on the team, which means when stuff doesn't get done, the first question tends to be more, how can we help, rather than why is it late, right? Because you trust the person. So it's, this person keeps forgetting to give me access to that system. Can you get them to give me the password so I can get this done, right? That it drives that discussion. So very happy teams, very productive, very interesting. And it's this social thing. It's about putting everybody's work up publicly. Now, the one issue with this is the wall disappears when the project's over. So, the pen and paper, it's really easy. It's really public. It's not very permanent. Here's another interesting example. And this one's fun. Karate belts, right? So let's say you and I start at the same time and we work our way up from a white belt, but you're putting in more effort than me, or maybe you're just more skilled than me. So you've earned a brown belt and I've only earned a green belt. That's neat. Your brown belt is more likely inspiration for me than a point of jealousy, right? It's pretty objective that you're better than me. And so it's this cumulative track record that's rewarding your hard work. I like it. I like it. People are very proud of their belts. There's lots of interesting examples, but again, I want to talk about the three pieces, right? So here's kind of how our startup works. Our startup, it's using task work, right? So very specific people's deliverables, like those agile cards, the cards they put up on the wall, and it's using that to give to track work. So as soon as this is done, it's going to drive an invoice, so it's immediate, and we can give feedback. So we can make it very differentiated. We can say, Ella has this particular skill that we really value, and we use it to drive a long-term track record, a little bit like International Movie Database. So we're combining that project execution of Agile with International Movie Database to give people, immediate, specific, cumulative track records, feedback, recognition. I love this stuff. I have worked around the world. I've made clients a ton of money, more than $50 million doing this. And the most fun part is the teams get happier and happier and happier as things start to work, as they get recognition. It's neat. Anyway, here's my email, ian@golio.io. If you have any questions, ping me. I'm happy to talk. All right. Cheers.